Call this to order. Thank you all for attending and being here tonight. Working on our schedule, we appreciate that. Begin with review of the minutes. Anybody has any corrections or comments from the minutes that were sent out previously? Is there a motion approved? All right. Approved. Sommer seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Field operations supervisor report. Here it is, Gary. Anything new?
The city park, the Air Marquette Park is mulched, Main Street Park is mulched. We'll start at Valley Spring tomorrow. All the trash barrels have been repainted and are back out. Mowers are ready to go.
Which other part did you say was mulch?
Main Street.
This is the time where we can ask questions.
Go for it.
At Valley Spring Park, are you guys just going to throw it down as far as it goes, or is it going to get cleaned up at all?
Yeah.
Because of the wild leaves.
All leaves out before we start mowing. Down to the hole.
And what about the equipment? I don't-
Fire wash. And the pavilions.
Because I still would kind of like to tie that in with some kind of maybe Earth Day or some kind of group community meeting of the minds and gather their, or help clean up or something like that. So it's still, I think the weather's teasing us. It is only March. We still have rainy, nasty April ahead of us. And I know everybody's thinking that it's full-blown park season and everything, but we still have some time to plan some stuff.
Yeah. If
I
you're,
think if you don't get everything done, I think it would be a good opportunity to call some group meetings in or something like that.
if you're wanting to do something around Earth Day, this is our last meeting before that. Our next meeting will fall on the 26th.
Yeah, I see that. I saw
So-
that it is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day as well, which is kind of cool. So maybe we can have some other kind of informal meeting together again or something
Yeah.
like that and see if we want to throw that out. Next one later
We
on.
should do something, I think, for a day.
Maybe seriously. So, we can look that up.
All right, we'll do a little subcommittee on that. Very good. Anything for the disc golf? Issues we need to take care
We've
of?
been throwing around the idea of having another tournament, PDGA sanction. We're looking at probably September sometime, early September. As for some fundraising, I had an idea of, we could raffle a basket, like buy a practice basket, set up a raffle for it, probably be able to triple the money invested. I don't know, it's an idea, something to think about. Other than that, that's pretty much all we got. Our Monday night league's been going good. Have 13 players there tonight, so that's about all we got.
Good.
Jeff, with the disc golf and potential fundraising, do you think the guys at the club would be interested in maybe hosting like a learn to play event sometime later in the summer when things open up?
Yeah, I would like to try to get the community more involved.
Maybe we
You
could
know,
do like
bring some disc up that people can just use and,
Yeah.
you know, maybe set up like just a 3-hole course or something, maybe something a little smaller, just to get people out and try it out. So I think that's a great idea.
I'd like to see some workshops, where people could learn how to throw and how to putt.
I mean, those pros that do clinics, but usually it costs,
Yeah.
it'll cost money to get somebody.
You're not pro?
What's that?
You're not pro?
No.
But maybe we can do like a kind of like an adult workshop too for the game, so we can get like maybe a disc or whatever, like with their entry fee or
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Very cool.
Gateway up in St. Louis is a manufacturer, so they're really good at, Dave McCormick's the owner. And he's really good at, you know, working with clubs and trying to do, you know, that exact thing, just trying to grow the sport, trying to get more people into it.
I know there's a couple of kids in the kitchen that have expressed interest. I said, just go up there, show them my number. So I said, they would love to show you.
I've been seeing a lot of younger kids up there,
Yeah.
so.
And whatever we can do to kind of help promote those from the Sanctioned Parks Facebook page, just kind of let us know if it's updated and
Okay,
like that.
definitely.
So I had some big trees that had fallen down on the course.
Yeah, down in the woods,
Yeah.
all 16.
Yeah. Any help on taking care of those?
I cleaned it up pretty good, I think it's good for right now.
All right, good.
It's just laying across the fairway, but the more stuff in the way makes it funner, so
More obstacle. All right, good.
I think it'll be all right.
And the doggy thing was moved.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed that the other day.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Good dog waste station.
That was on the 7th.
Oh, yeah.
You sending more stuff in the way to.
I know, we're just thinking for you.
Yeah, but this one, that's gonna tear it up, I didn't want to tear it up.
No,
It'll definitely help hide it.
That's all that matters,
that's good.
another pro.
Far.
All right, any committee reports for master plan?
For the fundraiser, we met with Sean, and Sean
Yeah.
Long is on our committee. And we established movie night in the park.
Okay.
So the the library is having one on May 15th, which is Jurassic Park. So we're gonna see how it works out and stuff. John's got the place where the projector and everything is gonna be, so. Then we decided that we would go the last Saturday of the month, of each month. So in June, on June 26th, we'll have Frozen. July 31st, The Little Rascals. August 28th, Superman into the
Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man,
sorry,
Into the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse.
It's a little. June 26th,
The last Saturday.
July 31st, Little Rascals. August 28th, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. September 25th, Wizard of Oz. And October 30th, Hocus Pocus. And we thought we could incorporate the glow.
Yeah, so for prior to each movie, we hope to have some sort of like family-friendly event that'll take place from like 6 to about 7:30, maybe close to 8, until the movie starts. So like for Frozen, we talked about doing like a Meet the Princesses theme. And so we have lots of contacts where we can have girls come dressed as princesses, and even maybe some guys we can get to dress as princes. And there'll be like photo ops, we'll have Sean's gonna help us work on some like activities for the kids to do, that kind of stuff. Same with the Spider-Man, he'll do the free comic books, the library will supply free comic books. We'll have, again, different young adults that can come dressed as different superheroes. And then we thought for the pumpkin, or the October one showing Hocus Pocus, doing it kind of like an all-day event. So it would actually have, we kind of break down the whole park and do maybe like a trunk or treat throughout, having the pumpkin glow up at the big pavilion to where like families can paint or carve, having a bonfire somewhere, like maybe up kind of by the park house area. Like, and then each of these events will also be open to food trucks. So we'll have food trucks come in. I have a list started that we were able to collect several names of different ones that are in like a 30 to 60 mile radius that has been going over really well in Farmington. So all of it, anybody can just plug in, and we're gonna ask for donations. The more I talked with the food truck group, I guess we'll call them, they were saying that they don't have set fees. So like, I guess they've been doing it on the Methodist church parking lot. So they have offered up, like at the end of their event, as long as the food truck did really well, they've given a donation to the Methodist church then. So we're kind of gonna run on that basis. So, and then we can also do like, but somebody us, volunteers can stand at different areas of the soccer fields and collect donations.
Do you have to reserve food trucks? I know that sounds silly, but.
So you don't have to reserve them, it's
Or
gonna
ask
be kind
them
of,
to.
yes, so we have to ask them to come and be a part of it. And so the way the Farmington one is, they just pick a date and they let them know, hey, this is when we're doing this, and then whoever wants to come, comes. So we will ask just for like an RSVP, so we can advertise who's going to be there, and so we know, you know, if we have 10 trucks coming, then we'll probably have to close that section of the street. And if there's only gonna be 3, then we wouldn't necessarily have to, we can just have them park on that section and traffic can still get through on the other. So,
And that's just on their honor that they're coming, I mean, it would be
yes.
horrible if no one showed up and advertised food trucks or whatever.
Yeah, I would think most of them would stick to it because it's income for them. So, and we can always, if the food, if the board wants to do like sell bottled water, Gatorade, that kind of stuff, we can also have that going. I did put on here, there's a group out in Minute, I forget which church they're affiliated with, but their youth group does kettle corn, different flavors of kettle corn, and they do it as fundraisers. So they've been willing to work with me in the past where they would still cut us a deal on it, and we would make a profit and they would make a profit, so that way both organizations benefit.
That would be great with the movies.
Yes, yeah,
Hand in hand, I would almost contact them
yes.
now and say, these are our.
So that's,
dates,
Sean has been trying to put together like a little flyer that we can then distribute in all downtown areas, and then that way I have something to also give to the food truck people to say, here's our dates, here's what's going on, like what's showing for each of the dates. So yeah, I will get with the youth group too.
Yeah, Sean's been a real big help.
I know, it sounds like it.
With all the designing of the flyer and everything, so, you know, and all our dates will be on his flyer for the Hocus, or for the Jurassic Park.
Yes, so he started, and he did put a link on his website, on the library's webpage. There's a special one for the Movie in the Park series. So he's already got dates listed and what movies are gonna be showing as a way to start advertising for us.
So this is a done deal.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
and the dates are already reserved with Pam at City Hall,
And
and
licensing is covered under him?
so
Yes.
that's the only part of it. He's working with a local businessman who's kind of been reaching out because each movie cost us $550 in licensing. So he's trying to get enough people to pay for at least half of that. Knowing the names that he rattled off, I think a lot of them will pay the full amount once they know what it's for and everything. So it shouldn't cost us anything.
And I could not see a business not wanting to even sponsor
Right.
one movie, period,
Yes,
the whole thing.
and so while the, family event is happening, he's going to have a PowerPoint going on the screen. So it'll say, you know, thank you to our tonight's sponsor, and then it'll have like their business logo and different things like that.
And we'll
So,
also include part of the master plan,
yes,
so, you know, they can see exactly what we want, you know, what the money's gonna go for.
Are they doing anything in the paper also?
yeah, so once we get all of the graphics like tied down, so hopefully this week is Monday, so this week, then we can start pushing it out into all of our social media, newspapers, all of that. And my contact with the food truck group, she said she put it in, I guess they all have their own little Facebook groups amongst themselves, so she said she'll start putting it in several of those, so that way it gets to people, not just Farmington's group, but there's like the Cape group and a Jefferson County group maybe, so she said she'd start really plugging those in too.
Do you guys have an idea where you would show the movies in the park?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, okay, you know where the pool was?
Yes.
That next,
Little hillside.
the hillside, but it's the next one down. It says down. And then people would sit on the soccer field to watch it. and then we have an entrance. We have to, well, we talked about like roping, so people can only come in one way, and we, you know, they can see probably as far back as the end of the soccer field on the other end, and, you know, of course, social distance and all that, so.
What about bathroom?
So we are looking at, seeing if a company will do, because, yeah, the one is close enough, but the other one over by the big pavilion, I think is gonna be too far out of the way. So we're gonna look at seeing if maybe a company will donate the use of 2 porta potties to put there by the shed, because there's a light there too, so if it does start to get too dark, they'll have the street light to kind of, to see. So that's the goal too, is that we'll get some porta potties in.
We talked about getting a string of lights that will go off when the movies go on, and then when the movie is over with, so people can walk and get back to their cars.
I have several sets of string lights.
Well, so we were looking at the ones that they use at the fair, kind of, they're almost, I don't know if they're gas powered or battery powered, but it's like an actual like
Oh,
pole.
light plant.
Yeah, and
The
you
county
just-
has one of them.
Okay, we knew a couple, like I think he might have one, like some of those companies, we thought, yeah, that we might be able to get somebody to donate just 1 or 2, just to allow us at the end of the movie, flip something on around the soccer field so people can like look down and make sure they didn't forget something and see where they're walking when they head towards the street.
Don't soccer field have lights? No. Does the soccer field have lights?
No.
No. I don't recall seeing any. We looked, there was just the one row of lights along the street on the other side.
Maybe you can get those people sharing out donuts at Coral Fire and do it. Well,
Yeah. As like an entertainment factor.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dark, you know, or throw the dark frisbees.
I mean, I like sweets whenever I watch movies, so the films are perfect for me.
Yeah, she may want to come out.
Please hold them on Ralph's.
Just a note, June 26th, that's the same day as the Honey Festival, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that we're wearing that. I don't think it'll impede
So
the time.
our original date we had conflicted with something else. So then we thought, well, maybe we should move it to the end of the month. So the end of the month seemed to conflict with less things than the original dates we picked.
Even the
So-
bee thing, Toby, didn't they only talk like that going to 4 o'clock?
It'll be early in the day on the land, yes.
Oh, okay.
And there'll be food trucks, we've got 6 of them or so lined up for that event,
Oh,
so.
perfect.
I don't know, so just want to roll up.
Yeah, so maybe that's
When's the Heritage Festival scheduled, or they have a plan?
June 12th. June 12th.
June 12th.
Heritage Festival.
Well, and that can go into the movie too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they can advertise.
Sorry, it's the day before.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
26th, June 26th.
Well, that's great news, you guys have done a wonderful job.
Good work.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of that, like,
And
thank
of
you
course,
so
we had
much.
to scrap our Easter egg
Yeah.
thing, because we
Yes.
just didn't have enough time.
Right,
And right now, the bake sale is on hold, because,
Yeah, we're waiting on Amy to get back with us.
but I do have the ladies auxiliary that they will bake for us if we.
very good. Well, you're getting things started, which is the key, right?
We just need to know the amount of money we need to raise.
Right.
Yes, that's something
Don't
that
start,
Sean,
don't stop.
yeah, Sean's gonna advertise,
Lots of
that.
losses.
On Sean's PowerPoint, he's going to list also like tonight's donations will be applied towards phase 1 and then he'll list
Oh,
what,
great.
you know, our section of phase 1 is so that they can
Okay.
see. So bringing in the porta potties, because the bathrooms are one of the phase 1 things, will be a good for them to see, you know, yeah,
Okay.
we,
All right, good.
you know, need these
That's
things in
awesome.
our community, or in our
But if
parks.
we can get an amount,
Yeah.
you know, because most people don't know how much do you need.
Right.
So we need an amount pretty
Right.
soon, you know, if we're raising money for, you know.
And that was something else, Happy, we talked about, for events like this with the community foundation, if there was a way to, I know we briefly talked about it before, but we said we'd have to check with them, setting up like Venmo or something to allow people to pay electronically versus, you know, I mean, I'm one that doesn't carry cash very often, so it usually is easier to be able to like, or if there's a way to make even a QR code to go to the link
Yeah.
for,
Yeah, so go ahead and take one and
Okay.
pass it around. So the Community Foundation fund for the parks has been officially established, and the starter funds are in there. So I kind of drafted up this kind of outline of how to give, because you all probably get some questions from the community, even outside of our events and stuff. So they can go online to cfozarks.org/St. John Parks, and that'll be a direct link to where they can pay with debit, credit card, and make a direct donation
No fee.
there. Huh?
No
There
fee.
is, so I did it the other day, it gives you the option to absorb the fee for the account. It was $3, or mine ended up being $3, and so I just marked it, I was like, charge me the $3 if it meant you guys got the whole amount then. So it did have that option on
And I think that's usually for the credit processing.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, so it's just whether the donor wants to save it from the fund or not. But, yeah, we can look into potentially getting a QR code set up for our
Yeah,
flyers and
because
stuff.
I just didn't know how comfortable they would be having, because we wouldn't need access to it, just something, whether it be PayPal or Venmo or something to allow people to do it quick and easily, just because that's the world we live in, but maybe just having a QR code to where they could scan it, because, you know, yeah, then it'll take them straight to the link and they can just enter it, you know. I'm just thinking as people walk in, I mean,
Yeah.
so many don't, and even with food trucks, I mean, a lot of them will do like Cash App or, you know, Venmo and different
You
things.
have to.
Yeah, so, I just thought maybe that'll help increase the donations at events because people may not carry a whole lot.
It's very rare you hear somebody say, oh, I don't have my card on me.
Right.
You know, they can say that.
Yeah,
They don't have
Cash,
cash.
I don't know if that's,
And they don't have a Venmo option at this
Okay.
point. Theirs is strictly looking at it as a donation, either direct from the individual or from the entity to put the
Okay.
deposit in.
okay, so yeah, maybe,
the QR, sounds like a QR code or in combination with, just posting, you know, a flyer, the link, you know.
yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people's phones these days go straight to the
And
internet.
if it's
anyway,
like
so-
even connected to our Facebook page, our St. Genevieve Parks page.
Yeah,
it could
she's
be
got
on
it
there.
on there. Yep,
Yeah,
Ashley's got it on
yeah, I put it in the website of on the Facebook page for St. Genevieve Parks. I'm still kind of trying to work like a WordPress together for the parks, and I've got the structure pretty well built, but I need to get the fundraising stuff on there, get out and take a few more pictures to kind of jazz it up. I don't know if it'll be done by next meeting, but certainly within the summertime when we really get into the thick of things, I'll try to find
Well,
something.
and this park, the playground guy contacted me today, and he's even wanting to meet as early as Thursday. But we can get playground pictures here soon too, just
Okay.
add on or whatever.
Okay.
Even though it's not the first phase. I don't know if you're trying to phase it
Yeah.
or just generally everything.
Yeah, well, on this little website that I'm trying to put together, like I've also got links for each park, so people can actually see what parks are in our system here, because we have 7 properties. So just kind of,
Which again, I mentioned at one point, Valley Springs is not signed. There's no signage for Valley Springs except written on it. Yeah, we don't have a proper sign for there. So you're driving right by the M Road and say, oh, there's a park with a pretty fence, but there is not any signage. I mean, he could either make one, or I think we need to sign that park.
I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt to have a sign, so you'll have to look at the cost and making the approval from the board on that. But to continue with the community foundation thing real quick, so we talked about the online option for donating. One of the most common ways to make a donation is through check. So they can make checks payable to the St. Genevieve Community Foundation. And then in the memo line, this is the important part, writing St. Genevieve Parks and Recreation in the memo line, because the foundation monitors several funds within the community. So we want to make sure that the money goes to the correct spot, to the correct fund. And then they can send their checks to, I got the address on here, but I'll get all this information onto the social media page as well. But I wanted to go over here first. But they can mail the checks to St. Genevieve Community Foundation, P.O. Box 247, St. Genevieve, Missouri 63670. Or they can also drop the checks off at City Hall. Cash donations, I would prefer to keep those at the fundraising events, or the call for cash donations at fundraising events. Just, it can get kind of messy and confusing if we're dropping cash off at City Hall, or, you know,
Or
people are going.
Roger Street.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, if they want to pay with cash, certainly can, but may not be tax deductible depending on the way in which they give, so. Yeah, so you guys have this information, so if anybody asks you, we're all on the same page. I included a little paragraph about what the community foundation actually is and how it's all related with us, so. If you have any other questions, certainly let me know and we'll figure those out for you all.
If they click on the link, it goes directly to the parks portion of it, right?
Yeah. This link, the cfozarks.org/St. Gen Parks, that goes directly to
Perfect.
the St. Gen Parks Fund donation page, so you don't have to,
Navigate
click a drop-down
anywhere else.
option
Yeah.
to donate
Okay,
to this
good.
fund.
Yeah, I looked at it today, it looked like it was working well.
Yeah, yep, so I think we're squared away on that.
Good, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good work,
Yeah,
so.
really good progress. Happy, any updates on grant applications or anything we need to know on that? Just we're in the waiting game right now?
We did get, we did get approved by the Community Foundation, so there's a $20,000 grant that's been allotted to us, but it can't be used unless we get the grant from
Gotcha.
the state.
Okay, good. Excellent. All sorts of good progress. That's great. Anything else on fundraising, you guys again?
We're just waiting for an amount from
Yeah.
whoever to, so we
So,
can.
go ahead.
If they don't get the money from the state, where does that money go? Where does that grant go?
We'll just redistribute it to others.
To others?
I told them we'd be happy to take it and pocket it, just put it in
I know.
our Community Foundation account, but that didn't go over.
When will we know on the state's piece of it? You know?
Not until later this summer, probably August, September. So,
All right.
they've got them all collected. They're reviewing them. But they've given themselves enough time to do multiple reviews of it, I guess, and then I think it's definitely by the end of September they will have notified everybody
Okay, good.
if they those who got the grant.
Okay, say we get both, then what?
The money from the Community Foundation is part of the match for the state one.
Okay, so you're talking like 40,000?
There's 20,000 from the Community Foundation, and then we put in 28,000 from the state.
And all of that goes,
For a trail, portion of a trail from the big pavilion to the first small pavilion, that pretty much covers your length of, from those pavilions, you've got some playground equipment, you've got the bathrooms that you can then tie into once you improve those. So it's also the flattest piece, probably the easiest piece to do. So that was what we wanted to start with as our phase one of the trail.
okay.
So how long do we have to spend the money?
So for the state, you have to spend it within 3 years.
Okay.
And it sounds like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take forever. It takes that long usually with any type of state grant. Because it's also a highway grant, so.
Yeah, okay, so we have 3 years that we can get our plans together, but that's just gonna pay for that.
That's just that portion. We'll have to keep putting in every year for other
Right.
phases.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when are we gonna get engineering on this?
So we need our trail committee to go out and paint the path. And the weather is finally good enough, I think we can get out and do that. So I was thinking this weekend, whoever I get from the trail committee, like on Saturday, that's good? Saturday be good? We'll just go out and take what Nick had drawn up. Maybe I get him to join us, if he's available, and just mark it out with our paint marker that they use for sidewalks and parking lots. And we'll mark it out as it's drawn out now, and then we can also look at other options at that time, and there's other places we might want to run it.
So beware, Saturday there is a Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, and then you got Sunday is
Sunday'd
the
be that
holiday,
day.
so.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
Lions
When's
Club is gonna have their annual Easter egg hunt up at the park this weekend. I think they just kind of posted the flyer earlier
Okay.
today. So that's at 10 a.m.
Yeah, so if you guys go in the
Good
afternoon,
evening,
you probably
evening
can
will be
just.
fine. All right, late afternoon, early evening.
Saturday?
Yeah, we'll send out an invite. Good. And then after that, we can start getting some estimates of the other parts of the trail. Get some
And we have
material.
engineers that will,
I mean, I
Get
think
some
that's what
volunteers, yeah.
that's what I'm curious about, when is that?
I think in the next week, we'd get them out to, after we've marked it, got it, then the next week, get them out and have them look at what the cost would be.
And who are we getting?
So, it is Bowman and then Robinson. Then I get whoever else we want to.
But they'll only come out after you have marked it, or would they be part of marking it as well?
No, we'd mark it.
Right, I didn't know if they would also help you mark it, if you just do it all in one shebang.
Good.
It'd probably be better if we
Yeah, we
already.
probably ought to know what we want first. It'd be much quicker if we already
Their
know.
time is money,
Yeah.
so.
And if it's an
Mark
option.
Mark it in one color first, then go back with a second color with them and,
Yeah, if
you
we
know,
want
get
to
your
make some
deviations.
changes. and-
because they may say, no, you can't do that here because.
Or if you do this, there's maybe a more cost-effective way to do it, or other
Yeah.
options.
And we're paying them.
No, that would.
Okay,
they
that's
don't-
somebody said
they don't-
more
they don't-
money,
no,
but I didn't,
No,
yeah.
no, we wouldn't pay for estimates.
Now, can we use their volunteer as part of the grant?
Oh, you probably could.
That's what I was curious, is there just estimates?
I don't know if that would apply at this point, because it's gonna be outside of the
Yeah.
grant cycle that we're doing.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
But it would also, their estimates would be helpful in determining potential costs for, you know, what we got to fundraise to tackle those different objectives, so.
Yeah, that's my big thing. We need to know the amount.
Yeah, and we can start getting some budgetary estimates, right? So,
And there will be engineering on this project, but we wait until we get the grant approved. And then, once that's all done, and we get the money allocated, then we get an engineer to draft that section.
Right, yeah, and then that you're gonna probably pay for it unless they, would donate that. We'll have to allocate that.
Yeah.
All right, good. Anything else on the playground updates, Lauren?
Yes, I was just mentioning this morning, Philip in Park Hills. He is willing to, we have Kendra from Little Tykes out of Farmington, and this Steve Canaday from Park Hills that would love to come and talk to us, all of us, or a smaller group if you're interested, and bring us some new catalogs, and try to figure out exactly what we're wanting, what we want for the park. Also, I know in our park plan, are we committed and like the location of where that playground wants to be?
I think that's perfect spot for it.
Okay. 'Cause that's what he was curious to, if we had a play in park structures, and they have all different kinds, and they also had a webinar today, which I would have loved to jump on, but it was plants and everything else that you incorporate with your park plan and your playgrounds, and some of the structures that could go into that area. And I had mentioned to him that we had a spot designated up there, where we were gonna plan all that stuff. And he said there's a lot of really cool creative things that you can put in there. So I told him I would bring it up at the meeting tonight and get back with him on a date that he could come, and if we could meet here, even, so we could put it up here, or also we have hard copy of catalogs and stuff. Well, I didn't want to take up a whole meeting.
Oh.
This is, but that's where we're going with that, so. If you guys want to, anybody would like to get together on that, either Thursday, Monday, or Thursday, during the day even? Is anybody available during the day?
Is that this week?
It can be this anywhere, we can throw it out here.
Because I'm on vacation next week, so.
Congratulations. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying, congratulations.
I've been on vacation all year.
Would you like to do something on Monday or Thursday?
So, yeah, I will, I mean, I'll have some munchkins with me, but yeah,
Well, that's even better.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I can join too, just let me know when.
Okay, I was gonna ask this question. Do you like do another Survey Monkey to people? Like what would you like to play on? Or, you know, can you have kids input or should that just be something we decide?
I mean, we can do another Survey Monkey. I would almost look at inviting, like having a special meeting about playgrounds or something.
Bringing kids.
Because you're gonna get the people that really care showing up.
Yeah.
After speaking with Tim, possibly do that.
Yeah, and then that way you can show them catalogs of what you're looking at, you can get some feedback. I think I would go the meeting route. We can certainly do some sort of survey or online poll, but I would, at some point,
Well,
look
I
at.
think, well, couldn't we do both? Because what if your meeting only 5 people show up? But people are more willing to sit there and tap and click, you know? And
Yeah.
do we need to, should we ask Nick that question? Is that a good idea? Or should we just do it upon ourselves?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea, but if you're asking good idea versus bad idea, I don't think there's a bad idea in asking the community what they want in whatever form that takes.
Is it, or are we setting ourselves up for like, well, say 40% wanted this kind, 60, and this 40, well, that's not what we want, you know, that's, yeah, that's right. Is that gonna create that?
I mean, my perspective is at the end of the day, you guys are the board and you're making a decision, so you know, whether you're going with the majority or, you know, being in the parks and you're active and you say, well, if we do it this way, we'll have a conflict here with the actual park plan. There's gonna be all these little caveats that can go any direction. But I don't think it's a bad idea to get input, but I think you're gonna get the best input from showing them what you're thinking and saying, well, you know, the majority of our kids like climbing structures, or, you know, we need some more interactive, like, panels, you know, for our special needs community, or there's all these different aspects to include when it comes to playgrounds. And so I think you're gonna get the most feedback and the best feedback from showing them what you're thinking.
Gotcha, okay.
Great. Makes sense.
So I think that maybe Thursday the 8th,
Okay.
does that work? And I'll call them and see if that works for them, and then I'll get back with you guys. Are you available at all during the day, or do you need to be at that meeting, or do you want to be at that
Yeah.
meeting?
What time were you thinking on that day?
I don't know, I'm gonna check with them, I just wanted to get a date first.
Okay, I'll have an alderman meeting that day, that evening, so, but you don't have to plan around me, so if I can make it, I definitely will.
Well, it would be kind of cool if you were there.
Okay.
So, and you would be available during the day time?
I could be,
Okay, I'll see. If that doesn't work, we'll shoot for the 12th, Monday. How's that? Well, you won't be on vacation then. But I think Thursday will work. He said he's free. So, anyway.
I'll be in town, but I'll be working.
Okay. All right, so that's where I'm
Good.
Lauren, where you said Steve was from Clay and Park Structure?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I have the right.
Clay core, actually, is the main thing. You know how exciting it is to build a playground? It really is cool.
Just ask Gary.
Yeah. It's exciting to build one, it's not so exciting to rebuild one.
Any other committee reports?
Again, on that thing I saw, I sent you that playground equipment, what was, are they selling it or what?
No,
Oh, I
they're
know.
giving it away.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we have we, you put our name in for it?
I know.
Yeah, it was
it's-
on
it's
Facebook,
the
it was a
way-
big old
Seen it,
thing, yeah.
I know, it's like if all of us put one in,
Yeah.
maybe, where would we put that?
We'd find a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big, it's great.
Any other committee reports? Any updates on old business? Was anything from your son on the?
William has all the information, but he doesn't want to come in and take any of our time. He would like to set a date. He's contacted every single person that he told you he will.
Yeah.
He's got all his ducks lined up with money, with perfect dates that he bounced off some of his friends that race all the time, what would be perfect. And he's already lining up a bunch of people to really get on board and support this. So what we need to do, again, not to add another meeting, is to agree, do we want to give him 20 minutes at the next meeting we have and allow him to come back? He felt guilty taking so much time last time that I told him that it's okay, they'll understand that. So if you're okay, he would attend the next meeting and we'll give him the floor. And again, he put it into a presentation where he can show
What does he
you.
need from us?
I think he's looking for the support and the volunteer work. This will take 50 to 70 people to pull.
Well, there's,
Yes, but what I mean, but not just that, it's our backing him up and, you know, City Hall to be involved. If we need the policeman, he doesn't feel like he should go home.
Right.
That would be something he'd be happy to work with. If we need the sheriff department, you know what I mean? He just needs people that he can contact that will be doing some of the work because it's a list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The police has to go around and make sure that everybody in town understands that on certain days you can't park where you normally park. And it's not his job, technically, he's thinking, to make the signs and go put them on everybody's car. He needs the help to facilitate all of this, because a lot of the work has been done.
Right.
We just have to follow what's been done and what has worked before.
And with the potential for our parks to be on the route or
Right.
at different locations,
Yes.
we can help maybe have our own little things set up within the parks for the cycling events and stuff. So I think there's definitely a benefit for us to be
oh yeah,
in the
that's
loop
what
on
I
this.
was
So yeah.
asking in the helpful of what does he need from us? I mean, is there something we could be working on until this meeting with him? Or
If I understand my son, he's really, really good at thinking. He's not really good at, in a way, to delegate. He wants somebody that will say, let me do this, let me contact City Hall, let me, you know what
So,
I mean?
does he have like would be committee chairs? I need somebody to be in charge of traffic.
That's
I
what
need somebody-
that's what he's gonna need.
Yeah,
This is where
so
we're
if
gonna
he
have to
would-
help him with
If he
that.
would present what he needs, you know, somebody to do this, somebody to chair this, to chair this.
And I think that's what he's
then
gonna come talk to us
Okay.
about at the next time. He's gonna tell you, I talked to the USAC and I talked to these people and they're really, really excited. They think if you do it, because he told me like sometime in July or sometime in September, and there's a reason why you wanna do it on those days, because nothing else is happening.
Right.
And like I told you, 2 years ago, before COVID, we literally went to 28 races, and that was 50 races less than any of his friends did. These guys are going to 15, 16 states, and everybody loves Missouri because it's right in the middle.
Right.
It's a destination stop. And when we had this last time, people loved the hills and the challenge of the course, and they would like to see it come back.
and those dates were the ones that.
I'll have to get back with you. I'm gonna let him tell you.
Right, but he's already looked into that, like
Yes,
knowing that.
yes, yes.
All right.
And he got some of his friends that he rides with on the weekends to advise him. They're wiser, older, that have done this longer.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you want to be successful at this, here's some dates you want to pick, and
Good.
here's why. And that's what he's gonna come in and report.
Let's do that. We'll give
Yeah.
him 20 minutes
I will
next
do
time.
that.
Hopefully
Yeah,
we can
let's do that.
put some dates on the calendar. And, you know, I'm speaking, I guess just for myself, but I think everybody's on the board that we're excited about it. We want
I
to
think so.
help provide volunteers and everything's.
And like the article said, most probably 2022 would be, because it's too soon to pull one off. from
Right.
now.
Very good.
Yeah, this is
And
not
he-
something you do
know, I
in 3
would
months.
think that he would have a community, the Viking community
Yes.
that has all these experience and knowledge too, that would want to help, not only help, not race, but also
Yes.
just advise him, this is what you need to do.
And I would like to think we had such a good rapport the first go around. A lot of people that did this still remember what it was like to have this here,
Right.
that they want to come in and volunteer and help
Right.
out. I think so.
I think it'd be surprising if people volunteer.
I think so.
You know, I know we have so many people volunteer like for pedal, in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of folks who want to do that. All right, good.
Good.
Everybody want to agenda? Any other old business that we need to cover? All right. Any new business?
I got some new business,
Okay.
just because I'm busy. But I've been walking Progress Parkway a lot, and, well, everywhere, the shooter little plastic liquor bottles. I don't know if you guys, they're everywhere. I mean, it's Fireball and UV cake, so we got the dude and the girl littering like crazy all over the place. I was maybe wondering if we could not get some trash cans like they have at McDonald's at the end of Parkway, that maybe people might try to throw their trash into those. I know that, but, yeah, I have them all over my yard. I mean, they're everywhere, but maybe we could have some more receptacles at the end of these busy roads, like the highways. You know, those are always overflowing, so people are using them. Just thought,
Gary, is it easy to do one that has two different receptacles, like one that goes for garbage, one goes for recycling? Is that hard to do?
Yeah.
yeah, and you know what, if they're pitching them on the road. and
But I mean, for people that walk and collect the stuff.
You should, I collected, I take bags with me now, and it's ridiculous. I threw 2 bags down in the ditch because I look like a bag lady walking. Kind of felt silly, but when they start mowing, it's gonna be in their mowers, and it's gonna be shredded, and it's just not good. And I don't know if we should do like this campaign to put signs out, this, you know, the old give a hoot, don't pollute, back in the 70s, I'm dating myself. Something clever with those shooters to get to these people to quit littering it. It's just driving me absolutely insane.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That's all I have to
You know, we put the dog waste stations, we played out one day, and there's a big old pile of food right next to one.
Awesome.
And that might be, I'm hoping that's people that just let their dogs roam without supervision.
I don't
And it's not somebody literally walking it.
I have no idea. It was literally like 2 foot away from me.
The other day with the dog. I was like, wait a minute.
Is there a leash law in St. Genevieve?
Yes,
There is something.
Maybe we do need to put a couple signs in parks saying,
curb your dog.
Well, I know I have tenants that have asked me, my building on Main Street, he said people walk down the sidewalk, that's off the leash, let it go in the yard, and then pull it back and go on. I'm like,
See,
she said, can I say something? Like, yeah, but you
I mean,
know.
I'm guilty of letting Ginger run, but if I know if there's people or other dog, I get her back on the leash.
And I don't mind it, I don't mind if your dog does its thing.
Just clean after it.
Just clean it up.
Who cares?
That's, you know, but anyway, so, but getting off that, I just want to tell you guys on Main Street, it looks really, really good the other day. And while we're on social Main Street, I know we're dealing with, you know, the beer market and all the, everything, but I would like to maybe see about getting the rest of that sidewalk done this year. That's just that one side, that way we can go ahead and get the planning and stuff done.
I know, why
So-
is it that sidewalk down?
Because we have to do something. We just have to say, okay, we gotta do it.
Who does it?
Gary said they can do it.
Let's do it. I mean, how many years has this been now?
10.
This is 11. Then do we have to have a motion to,
Do we have any money left? Where are we with money? What do we have?
Yeah,
Any
it's
idea?
been-
I didn't look.
I think, what do you say it costs, Gary, for that sidewalk?
I didn't bring my paper, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we didn't spend any money. We're good.
Anybody, you plan on doing like the same way?
How much did you say?
What did you get, Gary? I think material probably like $1,500.
I thought it was something like that. It wasn't much. But, you know, just get it done.
Yeah, you want to make a motion to authorize the,
I'll make a motion.
Yeah,
all right.
if we have the money and it's not going anywhere, I say we.
I agree. So,
Just, I mean, get all these other little projects finished up and done.
Well, we got those events we could put in there and move the other one.
we have a motion to authorize the purchase of the materials to finish the sidewalk, call it $2,000.
Yeah,
All right,
2,000?
2,000, and if it's less than that, obviously we just wouldn't spend it, so. All right? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
There you go. All you
Speaking
gotta
of
do is ask
benches,
around here.
can we get a bench in Valley Spring Park?
What
You
kind of
know-
park do you want?
You know, like when you're up on the walking trail by Lakeland, that park down there, there's nowhere to sit. There's just all these exercise equipment, but it's a really nice bird watching spot. I always sit on the squatting thing. And I think it would be
You want more of a woodland type
nice.
bench, so
Yeah, it
you
doesn't
don't
even
want an
have to
iron one or
be,
anything.
Up there by where we took the bushes out in that area,
yeah, like in the middle there.
more towards the center.
Yeah, because it's great to look down in there and there's a ton of birds. Does anyone like to hear my recordings?
I do have,
Okay.
Or you want one like they have Main Street or?
Anything.
I have one with a back, the wooden bench, like the downtown benches,
Yeah, that would be
that we
nice.
can put up there.
Just don't paint it red. Thank you. That would be great.
You got 'em?
Yeah, we took out, I think it's Wilson.
Does
Any other-
anybody use that park a lot? I love that park.
Valley Spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pop in there now and then.
Were we, still wanting to put the dog waste depot at Main Street
No.
down there?
I'm actually gonna put a sign up, I would like to put a sign up that says no pets, please. But that's why we're losing the bushes. That's fine.
Well, maybe if we had a station there and no pets
No,
also.
well,
Maybe you could put it down at the welcome, out somewhere. I'm sure.
Well, I was planning on putting one down at like Main and Division, or about down there, because the guy approached me about, bench and maybe one of them down there or somewhere along the trail.
the reason I say probably not, don't put it in Main Street, I think it just invite people in, so then you have more problems. That's my reason for that. And I thought it was a great idea in the beginning, but,
Do you have one still?
No,
oh, you didn't buy the other one?
Well, let's
no,
think about that.
we used the one we were going to use there at City Park.
Anyone in that area?
Gary, actually, I've gotten complaints from residents about people bagging and throwing it in some of those empty lots, the flood buyout and
Oh.
one that's privately owned there. So I would appreciate if you did put one in that location.
We
On
did or
Main
didn't?
Street?
If you did,
Okay.
even if it's just a trash can, because people, and I noticed it the other day walking my dog, they're bagging it and they're just throwing it on the ground, which does not make any sense to me.
I know, you get that, it's like, here we are, providing you this
Yeah.
service, and then you're literally on it.
Yeah,
you know?
but even if it weren't a full station, even just a trash can would be great down that way. Especially if we're gonna start seeing increased traffic with the wildlife refuge eventually.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Moved, seconded? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Holy